Hello, Dhamma friends. Wish you all a very happy and peaceful evening. I'm going to begin this evening Sutta study class with the blessings in mind and sharing them with you. Let me wish our friend very good morning. He is joining from Sri Lanka. So may these blessings be with each and everyone equally to make their moment happy and Dhamma centered. Today, we begin to Sutta study class 15 minutes before the usual time due to a very special program in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Today, we are going to celebrate the life of Most Venerable Mudita Nayaka Thero because of his birthday tomorrow. We all monks and devotees from different parts of the world come together to a Zoom meeting at 9 so that I just need to finish the Sutta study class 15 minutes before the usual time. So that I thought of starting the Sutta studies 15 minutes before the usual time. I think many of our Dhamma friends didn't read the details of the email about the taking the Sutta study 15 minutes from the usual time so that many of them will join with the Sutta study class by the usual time. Anyway, we begin it now. First of all, let's pay our due homage and respect to the Supreme Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, today's topic Sutta is Anangana Sutta. It is the Sutta number 5 in the Majjhima Nikaya. This sutta is significant in the sense of clearing us as bhikkhus the path for liberation. It talks about how one could be away from blemishes or kilesa or defilement. The sutta may sounds like angana. Angana means a place where many people gather. Angana could be in front of the house where people gather for the household matters. And it is also said that Angana could be used, was using by some people when they gather their crops in the field, and that is called Suangana. When you come to Pali tradition, the Angana or Anangana, these two terms are being used just to denote the positive side and also negative side. Angana means blemishes. Whatever unwholesome thought arise quickly is called Angana. It is defined in the sutta, in the middle of the sutta by Venerable Sariputta, the main character of the sutta. And when you say Anangana, it means without blemishes or blemishes-free mind. So it is in the very important section called Mula Pariyaya, along with the Sabbasa Sutta, along with Samadhitti, along with Satipatthana, Mula Pariyaya, and so forth, so that it sounds very good for us to read the discourse and understand it. At the time this discourse is delivered, the Buddha was at the Jetavana monastery, but we do not see the involvement of the Buddha for this discourse. It is the great disciple Venerable Sariputta, Dhammasenapati, the marshal of the Dhamma, delivered this discourse to a group of monks, including Venerable Moggallana. The Venerable Moggallana was there in the gathering, so that this is one of the discourses uttered by Venerable Sariputta to group of monks for the benefit of everyone, especially those who haven't done their duties well in the sasana. This sutta primarily is talking about the 4 types of persons in terms of blemishes. So each and every human could be categorized into this section, in my understanding, because the way the Venerable Sariputta categorized people sounds like everybody is in. So let me read the discourse first. There you have the better understanding. If you haven't read the discourse, this way you get the picture of the discourse. Venerable Sariputta asked, Venerable Sariputta addressed the monks, so that Venerable Sariputta himself thought of saying this. Also mean, brother monks, there are these 4 kinds of persons to be found in the world. What are the 4? The first one, a certain person has a blemish, but he doesn't know for himself, just as it is, that there is blemish in me. That's the first person. The second person is he has blemish, but he knows for himself, just as it is, that there is blemish in me. And the third one, a certain person has no blemish, but he doesn't know for himself, just as it is, that there is no blemish in me. And the third one, he has no blemish in his mind, and at the same time, he knows for himself that he doesn't have any blemish in his mind. These are the 4 types of persons. Let me go to the first one again for clear remembering. First one, he doesn't know, he has blemish, but he doesn't know that there is blemish in his mind. That's the first one. The second one, he has blemish, but he knows himself that there is blemish in him, in his mind. When we come to third one, he has no blemish, but he doesn't know that there is no blemish in his mind. And the last one, he has no blemish, and he knows that there is no blemish in his mind. So these are the 4 types of persons, as Venerable Sariputta mentioned. If you do not familiar with the word angana or blemish, just think about defiled state. We go to that particular definition of Venerable Sariputta about blemish. Until then, just think about they are all this word talking about something unclear, unpleasant, detrimental thought. Then here also that person with a blemish who doesn't know, who does not know for himself, just as it is, there is a blemish in me, is said to be the inferior of the 2 persons with a blemish. I just want to say this because reading this whole line doesn't make any sense sometimes. There are 2 people in the 4 who have blemish. First one and the second one, they all have blemish. One doesn't know about it, the other one knows about it. Between these 2 people, one is inferior, one is superior. The inferior one is the one who does not know about his blemish. the superior one out of the two is the one who knows about his blemish. Right? So one is inferior, one is superior. And there are two people who actually have no blemish in their minds, but one is inferior there to the other because of one fact. The first one of the two who do not have blemish does not know that he has no blemish. In other words, here two people both do not have blemish in their mind, but the first one doesn't know about it, so that he is going to be inferior, and the other one is going to be superior because he knows that he doesn't have any blemish. You now can think how important this, because knowing what we have in mind is an advantage. It's okay for us to have some unwholesome thoughts in mind, but you would be elevating yourself in the noble discipline and Dhamma little bit because you know about your problem. Knowing about your mistakes, knowing about your mind with greed, hatred, and ignorance is better than not knowing anything about your mind. Some people argue that, some people say that we have no worries about anything. We are living. Recently, I found one person, and he says that I have all the things for my living, and I do not want to meditate. I do not want to do any good things like you people strive for, because I'm satisfied with my life. That type of people do not know about their nature of mind. They are satisfied with material things they have. At the same time, their relationship would be good for the moment, so that they think that that is the peak of happiness. I think they do not know about their mind, about their defilement, due to the extreme satisfaction based on material things. But when they experience, different type of suffering in their life, which are inevitable, they might say that something else. So, friends, that is my experience. So, basically, four people are again categorized into two. Two people do not know. Two people have blemishes in their mind, angana, and two people do not have blemishes in their mind, angana. So, in the first category, one is inferior to the other one because one doesn't know about his or her blemishes in their mind, and the other one knows. So, same like in the second category, same as the first one. In the second category, we find one is inferior and the other one is superior. The superiority and also inferiority is decided by the fact that the particular person knows about his situation. I think this this highlights very much the understanding. It gives us a message that whatever situation you have, you better first understand it. That make sense a lot for you to either to go forward on knowing further of your mind, or just do something else. Unless you know something about your mind, there is no chance of even moving an inch of your life towards the enlightenment. So Venerable Moggallana, as I said, was here during this one-way flow of Dhamma sermon. Moggallana came forward and said that what now, Sarva, what is the cause, what is the condition that the person with a blemish, who knows for himself just as it is, there is a blemish in me, is said to be the superior of the two person with a blemish. So, Venerable Moggallana asked the question, why one is going to be superior of the two? while the other one is going to be inferior. Okay. So then Venerable Sariputta in the Sutta explained that the person who has blemish in his mind doesn't know about it. We can expect that he does not encourage himself to do something great. He may not be having right effort because he doesn't know that he has blemish in his mind. While he is having blemish, angana, kilesa in his mind, he doesn't know about it, so that he is not going to exert, he is not going to give his full effort for removing them because he doesn't know about it. So that there is no happening like abandoning, craving, greed, hatred, ignorance in his mind. As a result, his mind is always defiled. His mind is always full of underlying tendencies, so that he is going to die with that. There is a simile given in the discourse. It's called dirty ball, more defiled. I mean, suppose a bronze ball is brought from market. You are having now a ball, particularly a bronze one, and now it is with you. So you bring a new one to your home, and now you kept it, you keep it somewhere where you never clean it. At some point of time, since you do not clean it, it becomes full of dust, so that the brightness of the bronze ball is gone, right? So what happened to the bronze, the shining bronze ball is going to be over, so that it's not like before. Likewise, if you do not use your mind, if you do not clean your mind, if you do not know that you have craving, greed, hatred, ignorance in your mind, there is no options for you to remove them because you do not know. So that it's unusable after that. It's not usable. It's not important. Likewise, this bronze ball. So that Venerable Sariputta emphasized the fact that he is going to be inferior out of the two because he does not know. I think some of you just joined now because you thought that the Sutta study class today started at the same time we usually did in previous times. But I started it 15 minutes before the usual time because of the special program at 9 p.m. I think you may like it you may like to join it with, because it is about most venerable Mudita Nayak Thero. We are going to have a Zoom session to celebrate his life because his birthday is tomorrow, 71st birthday. So that's why I started the Sutta study class 7:45. Anyway, you didn't miss many. We started discussing the Sutta, Anangana Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya Sutta number 5. It talks about blemishes in mind. Angana means quick craving that quickly arise in our mind and make some damages as usual. That type of craving are called angana. So we are talking about anangana, how to be away from those unwholesomeness. So we were discussing about Venerable Sariputta's moving forward to explain the four types of person. Then Venerable Moggallana asked question. Now Venerable Sariputta explaining why the first one is inferior. First person is inferior because he does not know that he has angana or blemishes. Therefore, he doesn't do anything in the Dhamma. As a result, he dies with greed, hatred, and delusion sharpened through the life, because he did not know about his defiled state. Then to be a superior out of the two, the second person has that quality that he knows about his angana in mind. Therefore, he actually strives to remove them. He has right effort, right attention, and he might try with anything he has to let go of those the blemishes, so that he's going to be better than the first one. First one doesn't know about it, but the second one does know about his blemishes in his mind, so that he is going to be a superior person. So when we come to the people without blemishes, there are two categories there too. One is inferior, one is superior. Why? Venerable Moggallana asked the question. Here it says that the one who has no blemishes but he doesn't know about it, he's going to be inferior because he doesn't know about absence of blemishes in his mind. Therefore, he doesn't get right effort into application. He do not try his best to complete his training without blemishes. His qualities may not be developing because he is not striving for it. So that he is going to be inferior to the second person there. The fourth one out of the other three is going to be a superior one because he doesn't have or she doesn't have blemishes in his mind, and he or she knows about it, so that his mind is away from greed, hatred, and ignorance, and he has no defiled state at all in his mind, so that he is not going to die actually, according to the full form of uh, clear mind. He could be an arahant because his mind has no any defiled state. So this is what uh, Venerable Sariputta explained. This is how Venerable Sariputta explained, and Venerable Moggallana was so happy about it. So now we come to the definition of blemish. It should be done because angana or anangana should clearly be understood. Venerable Sariputta says the blemishes. That term is there because angana. It is a term for the sphere of evil, unwholesome wishes. Basically, if you look at the map of the sutta, some monks and nuns keep their status in the order just by maintaining some unwholesome thought. For example, let's say there is a monk who actually is looking for recognition among other monks. So he might think that the head of the monks would call my name so that everybody else recognize how I am important among the Sangha members, so that he thinks that he is superior. And whenever he doesn't hear his name among other monks, he's going to be angry. So these are these are called blemishes. We can see them in the suttas, and then you would like to be recognized among gathering by your title, by your services, so that you might be thinking that somebody will call by my name with the title, and they will talk about my good qualities, so that I become a famous person. I will be greeted by others with so much respect. So when that is not happening, he develops anger, he develops frustration, he might be unhappy at all. So those are called angana. And having thought that I should be recognized by people who here is also a blemish. Suppose as you thought, you will be recognized by everybody by considering your knowledge and service and other skills and so forth. So now you are so happy. That is also angana. That is also a blemish in your mind. So that unwholesome state of mind, including wishes, could be blemishes according to Venerable Sariputta. This is what he said in the Pali version of the discourse. Let me read that for you so you would understand it better. There it is. Anganang angananti also vuchati kissanuko etang also adivachanang yadidang angananti. Papakananko, what is the meaning of angana? And then the answer is Papakananko etang also akusalanang icha vacharanang adivachanang yadidang angananti. The clear word here we found is icha vacharanang adivachanang. Angana means you wish that this happened to me, and these wishes becomes angana for you. In other words, any wishes, any hopes, any expectations are called angana. So first of all, you have a wish, and you are thinking on that wish to happen. For example, you want to be a recognized person among a crowd, and you want to be you want to be a particular skillful person among everybody else, and you think that you wish that everybody else will understand how clever I am, and so on, like that. So this is the definition given to angana, and the whole sutta is set to be away from those things. Actually, this belongs to a kind of mana. You measure yourself as superior, you measure yourself as similar. You don't want to be an inferior person. If there is a chance of inferiority, you try your best to be superior. So mana is the main character of unwholesomeness. They are working in your mind when you have anger. So then the sutta goes how blemishes arises. That is very important. These are the practical aspect of blemishes. Let me read one. It is possible also that a wish might occur to a certain monk here thus. Now, if I were to have committed an offense, let no monk know what I have committed it. But it is possible also that the monks would know that this monk has committed an offense. Thinking this monk the monks knows that I have committed an offense. He is angry and upset. This anger and this upset also, they are both blemishes. So, for example, there is a particular monk who did something wrong. It is an offense, avatak, or any other violation of Vinaya rules. So then he thinks that may others not be able to know what I did. So he did a mistake. Now he wants to hide it from others. But others know it. When he found out that others know it, he is going to be angry, because everybody knows that I did that mistake. So that when I know that I did a mistake and everybody else know about it, I'm going to be angry with all these other monks, because they knew it and they are going to either humiliate me or either report me. So I'm showing my anger and displeasure just to even to say that it is not your business. And when I am angry, I may be thinking that they do not tell it to others, and so on. That anger and upset feeling is called blemish. Sometimes you are not angry with others, because anger could could escalate the situation. So when you did a mistake among Sangha and you want to hide it and others know it, getting angry with them make the situation worse. So now you are worrying about the situation. That worry is also an angan. That worry is also blemish. So it is possible also that a wish might occur to a certain monk like this. Now, if I were to have committed an offense, let them reprove me in private, not in the midst of the Sangha. So now, the second situation, the monk knows that he did a mistake, and it's okay for others to know, but let them know about it in private, not in public. So when I did a mistake, but I like to others to talk to me in private. But there is a possibility that they do not talk it in private, but they may be talking in public. Then you become angry or upset. That is also called a blemish. Then there is another situation given here. The monks reprove me in the midst of the Sangha, not in private. The same thing I'm reading. So So the next situation is about like this. A monk, a particular monk can commit an offense, and he likes someone equal to him knows about it. He is not worrying about knowing it somebody who is equal to him. For example, suppose in a monastery there is a senior monk. There is a let's say not super senior, but just senior monk. There are some superior monks above him in the age and age of the ordination and knowledge, Dharma knowledge and practice. So this is the second category of monks in the training. So he thinks that it's okay if my mistake is known by similar age, similar category monks, but not the younger monks and also superior monks. So, however, the possibility is there that this could escalate and goes to superior monk, the leader of the group, and also the younger junior monks. Then he is going to be angry and upset. Isn't this talking about we have wishes that are not legitimate? We did a mistake, and around it and only about it, we have negative wishes. These are called blemishes. You may be thinking how we internalize this kind of Dhamma for us, because this is always about the monks in the forest and non-forest monasteries. So how could we as lay people apply this kind of Dhamma? I don't think there is a discrimination there, because the same thing could be applied to you. Suppose in the office, in the home base, in the social context, you may experience this kind of thing very much. So whenever a situation arises like this, just look at your mind. Is there any desire arising in me that I should have this and that? And always this goes with expectation and wishes. Look at your mind directly whether I have wished to be high, wish to be wish to be known by some friends and so on. So when you come across that kind of situation, just understand this is nothing but angana or blemishes in mind, and I do not allow them these blemishes to act me, to guide me, to jeer me to a situation. So in one hand, you are not going to do mistakes because of the repercussions of unwholesomeness, and at the same time, you do not allow your mind to have these blemishes at all, because As soon as you recognize, you remove it because of the nature, because of the situation you now understand. So I think somehow you all should be able to internalize them, though it is said only for monks in the discourse. Now we move on to the next level through desire to be treated as foremost. Again, you did a mistake. You commit an offense in the Sangha. It could be affecting only for you. It could be affecting for the whole Sangha. It could be more physical or more mental or more verbal. Whatever it is an offense. So now you may be thinking that the teacher would teach the Dhamma to the monks, questioning and counter questioning me, that the teacher would not teach the Dhamma to the monks, questioning and counter questioning another. So when you are in a learning class, suppose you are a junior monk or a monk who has some vasa in your account, now you are in listening to a new teacher. So you think that the teacher should ask questions from me so that I would be famous in the class, not anybody else. But the possibility is there that the teacher never asks a question from you on that day, so that your hopes are gone, your wishes didn't work, so that it is also called a blemish. Likewise, here we found different example, different thing. Why did Venerable Sariputta explain this kind of things to monks? What would be the very reason why Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Moggallana had a session to discuss this kind of situation that they experienced? Because they wanted to take monks out of their mana, their different type of situations. Some came from aristocratic families and they were expecting some recognitions in the Sangha order. Some were from poor class. They were in a mode of humiliation by those high class people, because they were still unawakened monks and nuns. So that time to time there were some issues happen or rose in the Sangha order in Bhikkhu and Bhikkhuni, so that venerable monks like Sariputta and Moggallana and other monks needed this space and time to tell the way to tackle these situations. So that's why Venerable Sariputta wanted to explain the Dhamma in such a way. So we found in the discourse that Venerable Sariputta is talking about the desire to be treated as foremost. So the monks who were skillful with different areas of discipline and Dhamma sometimes thought that we should have this recognition from the Buddha, from the Venerable Sariputta, and so on. I remember one story that is related to Venerable Sariputta's life. One day, Venerable Sariputta, as usual, got ready to go to Dhamma Duta Seva, Dhamma service, with a group of monks. Before that, they were sitting together and discuss where they go and how we behave in front of people, and who is going to go this direction and that direction. So early in the morning, before they leave to the villages, they had a discussion. It's like they were sitting as a cycle. And Venerable Sariputta was advising everyone, and the monk who was sitting close to him was an elderly monk, not much training in the Dhamma. However, he thought that it is better if Venerable Sariputta call me by my name, so that everybody is going to know that I'm very close to Venerable Sariputta, and he's a respect to me. Same things happen today, right? When celebrities and famous people come, and they would like to, not everyone. I mean, some people like to get closer to him or her and take pictures and posted them in different places, and they want they want to show that everybody they want to know, they want others to know that I am having connection with this kind of people. So this Venerable, who was sitting close to Venerable Sariputta, had that idea in mind, so that he did not listen what Venerable Sariputta said, because his mind is working that thought, mana. Venerable Sariputta now will call my name, now he would address me, he would give me this recognition right now. But throughout his speech, Venerable Sariputta did not mention about it. And Venerable Sariputta got up from his seat. Then one edge of Venerable Sariputta's straw touched slowly one cheeks of that particular monk. He got angry. Why he got angry? Because Venerable Sariputta did not mention his name. Then instead of following Venerable Sariputta, he went to the Buddha directly and said that he tell a lie. He tells a lie here. Venerable Sir, your great disciple, Dhammasenapati, Venerable Sariputta, hit me over here on my face before he left the monastery for today's service. Now the Buddha knows about Venerable Sariputta. He is an Arahant and he is foremost of wisdom, and there were many wonderful qualities in Venerable Sariputta's life, so that the Buddha thought that this could not ever happen. Buddha knew that this monk is angry, upset. He wanted to kind of revenge by telling this to me. So then Venerable Ananda was called and asked him to go, stop Venerable Sariputta from the Dhammaduta Seva on that day. In the meantime, Venerable Ananda called Venerable Moggallana and said that the Buddha is going to appraise, the Buddha is going to admire Venerable Sariputta with his Dhamma, so that let everybody, every monks in the monastery know about this. So having while Venerable Ananda and Venerable Moggallana was going to meet Venerable Sariputta on the way away from monastery, they both of them made sure that they give this message to the other monks in the monasteries. Right now, Venerable Sariputta got the message and came with Venerable Ananda and Moggallana. Everybody else in the monastery gathered around the Buddha, because Venerable Ananda and Venerable Moggallana sent the message that the Buddha is going to admire Venerable Sariputta's life. But then that monk was crying there in one side of the Buddha, and Venerable Sariputta came, and the Buddha asked, is it true, Venerable Sariputta, that you hit this monk on his face? You know what Venerable Sariputta said? He didn't say that I didn't. He never rejected it. Instead of saying no or yes, he said that I live like a street boy. I live like a boy from a lower caste. And I live like water, the earth, and then wind, and then fire, because the water never complain when dirty things are put into the water. The soil never complains, the earth never complains when digging is happening. The wind never complains even if we release smelly things to the wind. I'm like a slave boy. I'm like a cow without horns. When the horns of the cow is gone, it's so painful that cow is not going to fight with any cow until he gets cures his horns. I am behaving like the, and the other thing, I'm just like the carpet. I'm just like the carpet where we put to clean our feet. So Venerable Sariputta was only second only to the Buddha, foremost in wisdom, and he had all kinds of other skills as well. And he's from, if we talk about the lay life, he's from Brahmin class. So how could he say that if his mind is away from blemishes? Actually, he was such a humble person. It's a long story. Once Venerable Sariputta finishes saying like that, he finally asked, Venerable Sir, do you think that I hit this mark? When I am having this nature in my mind, in my life, do you think that I have a possibility in my life to hit anybody else, even though somebody else retaliate me? Then Buddha turned to this monk who was blaming Venerable Sariputta for treating in a bad way. Foolish monk, you blame someone who is like so wholesome, incomparable for anyone. So unless you pardon, unless you apologize here, you are going to be in great danger. This monk is now crying. He cries because he had blemishes in his mind, angana, and he blamed Venerable Sariputta. So then, even at that situation, Venerable Sariputta had no any grudge, no any blemish over anything that monks did for him. So you see the story very well now, that one is with blemish and one is without. So when you have blemish, you have bad wishes in your mind. When you don't have blemishes, your mind is free from other unwholesomeness as well. So the next section of the Anangana Sutta is about claiming your superiority. You are expecting something superior, and that is also kind of blemish. Now, again, we have other examples also. For example, there is a monk, there is a wish in a monk, and it is about like this. It would be I who would teach the Dhamma to monks who have come to the monastery, that some other monks would not teach the Dhamma who have come to the monastery. See, now there is a monk in the monastery who always wish to go to people who come to temple and talk to them in terms of delivering Dhamma. He doesn't want others to do that because he has a desire to be with people's mind, not anybody else, so that everybody is talking about him. Isn't this having in today's life, in monks' life? Yes, some monks, I went to, I don't want to mention the country, and so that you are going to know about the temple I'm talking about, but without telling the country, and I will tell you this story. Well, in 2017, I went to that country and go to that particular city to stay for 4 days. And I found that the head priest of that temple, there are four resident monks who are very skillful in Dhamma, who are very skillful in other things also, pertaining to monk's life. But the head priest never gives any chance for other monks to talk to people, even Dhamma servant. I happened to go with them for several dana and chanting. So this particular monk, does everything. Then I came to know from a particular monk in a secret way that he has been there for several years now. He never remembers even a single time he administer people on 5 precepts and conduct the Buddha Puja, and he did a sermon. So he fed up with, because when you have opportunity to teach, you learn. When you have opportunity to teach, people learn from different ways. So suppose if I am the only monk who teach the Dhamma at the Hilda Javaradhanarama here, it's a disadvantage for people, because there would be people who understand the Dharma in a different way, and the other monks will be so fitting for them. So that we should understand that diversity is there always in us, in people, so that we should allow others to explain the Dhamma. But in some monastic setting, we find that this kind of angana is working, kilesa is working. Some monks don't want others to be activated as resident monks. They don't want others to explain the Dhamma. They think that they are the only people who can do it, and something like that. So I think these examples are very practical. If you want to read the discourse from the beginning to the end, you will find out how practical they are, as Venerable Sariputta explained. So here in this section, you are expecting something like that. You don't want others to explain the Dhamma, but everybody else. Else should be in silent. It's me only doing this. So that kind of things are blemishes. Now again, we know here certain things. Monks would expect honor, respect, esteem, worship. So there would be monks in monasteries who expect honor, respect, esteem, worship, and they don't want to. They don't want to see. They are going to the other monks, so that conflicts start. So these are blemishes. I jump from here. Material things. Sometimes for requisite you have blemishes in mind. So you think that all the nice food in the first place should be given to me by people, not everybody else. So you can have blemishes with regard to food and the cheever. Sometimes monks could have mana, that I should be highlighted among people, among the Sangha, because of my robes, because of my physical characteristic. So these are blemishes that arises because of not knowing what is happening, because of lack of mindfulness, lack of yoniso manasikara, lack of samadhi, lack of who am I and what am I. Right? Venerable Tissa at the time of the Buddha showed such a behavior. Venerable Tissa is called Mahatis also. He was a relative of the Buddha. He thought that those monks came from different direction, from different families, should respect us because we are relatives of the Buddha. He was so fat, and sometimes he sleeps on the chair. It was not a nice situation there with him for other monks. Then the message went to the Buddha, and the Buddha reprimanded the behavior of Venerable Tissa. He said that I do not consider the relationship we have. We are all monks. Despite the family background you came from, we are Samana Sakyaputta, so that we all should have this behavior. So at the time of the Buddha, there were incident happened to show this quality, like for material thing, due to material thing, such as food, accommodation, and then medicine and other things. They try to show up. They try to look others down upon. They are all called blemishes. So I just want to read this part. It is about false, wrong recluseship, and also right one. In whatever monks these unwholesome wishes are seen and heard not to have been abandoned by him. Suppose despite the place of living, for example, forest monastery or meditation center, you may be living in a forest monastery, you may be living in a meditation center. However, if you have not done anything to abandon unwholesome state called blemishes, angana, you are not going to be a good monk. You are not going to be this. Perhaps you are in the forest monastery. Perhaps you are you will be away from people and isolated for a long time. But unless you work on, unless you work on to demolish, to remove blemishes from your mind, you are not considered a good monk. You are not considered a, Samana Sakyaputtas. You are not considered a Arya Shravaka. The simile is given here, the clean ball containing a carcass. There is a golden or silver, very shiny ball, which is very nice. But how about if you put something very filthy into it? So you carry it into a crowd and put it in the crowd, in the middle of the crowd. People are talking about the outer shape of the ball. It is very nice, but as soon as you open the lid of the ball, what is inside is really bad. So you're not going to even touch that golden shape, golden color, shiny ball, because what is inside is really bad. Likewise, you may be having shaved your hair, you may be having very nice robe, and you try your best to maintain your social life, but inside of you, you should have blemishes, greed, hatred, and ignorance, and you are not striving to remove them. So you are just like that shiny golden ball with carcass or unfilthy things inside of it. It means your mind is defiled. It's full of greed, hatred, and delusion, so that the place of living is not very much considered. The right or accurate or true recluseship, it could be you are living in the city temple, it could be you are living under a tree, it could be you are not that recognized with your sermon, with your service, but it could be that you never give sermons for people. You even do not, practice such public talks. But practically, you have no unwholesomeness in your mind. You are totally away from creating unwholesome wishes in your mind. There are such monks like that in this world, even today. They never explain Dhamma in a form of sermon, desana. They have somehow managed to keep their mind, keep their life clean and clear, and serve the people. I think Venerable Sariputta is talking about them. They are very true recluse, mendicants. So that is the discussion that Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana did in the discourse. And Venerable Moggallana also wanted to jump ahead there, saying that, yes, I have some experiences at some places, and then Sutta is going on and on like that. So at the conclusion, we see that Venerable Moggallana is so happy about Venerable Sariputta's teaching about the way the monk should work on all the other disciples to remove blemishes. And at last, it is said that those who have heard this Dhamma exposition of the Venerable Sariputta, as it were, have drunk, as it were, have feasted by the way of words and by way of thoughts. Good indeed it is that he having uplifted fellow, brahmacharis, he established them in the wholesome. So basically, Venerable Sariputta was able to make the Sangha there happy by explaining the particular unwholesomeness, angana, blemishes, and he showed practical examples where angana could arise. And of course, by pointing practical ways of angana, he indeed indirectly taught there to be away from angana. He categorically shows who is bad monk and who is good monk. And this is related to you also, despite your status of living in the sasana, it could be applied for the betterment. So having said that, I just want to stop my one way, explaining. Remember, at 9 a.m. we should start another session. So I give one chance to Dr. Pial. He has raised his hand. So take your time, Dr. Pial. You are muted.
So I just want to know why this a special name was given Angana. I mean, it is a defilement of the mind, maybe created by the background of mana. So anger, whatever. So you're trying to protect yourself, and because of the mana. Mana is something, I guess, it completely goes. Is like a more like a even a fetter. You can talk about it as a fetter, but I mean, start with maybe like a the Attavadi Upadana, maybe around the self, you create the mana, but eventually the mana completely goes at the time of an arahat. But so is it because it's a special kind of a defilement? Why did they give a special name here? Sariputta, I mean, it's a defilement, right? Basically,
Yeah, it is a defilement. Yeah, it is a defilement, and why this particular name is given? Because of its nature. It is said that it is said that papakanang ko etang ausu akusalanang icha vacharanang adivachana. It means that unwholesome wishes, unjustifiable
so expectations, like
expectations are called angana. Yes. So we have some wishes to be recognized. For example, I want to be recognized by everybody else. You know, you are not even speak a word about it, but you think that somehow the head priest will talk about me in front of people so that I am going to be so and so, and I would be famous. I would be recognized by people as a scholar and so on. That kind of wishes are, unwholesome, and they are called angan.
Because they based on the mana, I guess.
Mana, based on the mana, definitely. We all know the fact that when mana or any other unwholesomeness come, everything else also followed by. So when you do not have opportunity to satisfy your mana, you get angry, you get upset, and you are trying to do other bad things as well. Even telling lies happen, and because you want to satisfy your mind with mana.
Thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome. So I just want to stop today's class from here, because at 9 p.m. we start another sessions to respect our great teacher Bhante Mudita, because he turns to 71 years old tomorrow. So that we monks thought that we should have a Zoom session with him to appreciate his life, because everybody else except, I think, Most Venerable Dhammasanayaka Thero are in this part of the world because of his compassion. So that we should give time for that, and I think you may be able to join with it. Anyway, it is Bhante Mudita's birthday tomorrow, October 15, and I know many of those friends who join with us today, have the connection with him directly, so that you can talk to him tomorrow and wish him good health and long life with good health. So anyway, friends, let's make a great wish that may this blessing be with him and also with us, and may be able to practice the Dhamma without Angana, or practice the Dhamma to remove Angana. If you have them in mind right now, just consider that we are trying to remove them. With that in mind, I wish may you have a wonderful night, wonderful morning. May you all be able to attain Nirvana, or complete Nirvana very soon. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.